Another question from the floor?
Hi, I'm Bob Pratt, Deputy Reeve of the RM Hanover. Does the mic work?
You bet.
Yeah.
No, closer. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Use the counselor voice. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
my ward had a boundary line with the RM of St. Anne. And on this area that we covered, we gave your residents dust control from day one. All year long, they had dust control on the road. I live on Road 37 in the RM of St. Anne. We got dust control this year at the end of July. We got dust control last year at the end of July. We are the main feeder road to Cherry Hill and main feeder road to Quarry Oaks. And it looks like we're forgotten, even though we service your residents very well. So I would like to know, is there any plan to improve the services in our area? My councillor Jake has done a great job trying to get something going, but it just seems like he hits a stone wall. So what do you as the Reeve and the future Reeve, or the guy wanting to get to that chair, what do you have to say?
Richard, I'll let you start.
Well, I mean, one of the things on road is definitely I want to address the issue in regard to well, the dust is a big thing. I mean, I understand that, and the control will have to be taken care of. I mean, that was an issue in St. Anne. We have a lot of gravel road. We made, like, all the street and so on in St. Anne are paved. In the RM, there is road that deserve to be paved. There's an infrastructure money that will have to be spent by the RM. I'm not sure what is the budget. I'm not sure how much money there is in the bank, but definitely infrastructure to make it the road. I mean, you go to other provinces and the roads are paved almost everywhere and so on. There's a big cost to that, but if you have a lot of taxpayer and some of those roads that need to be maintained, if there's a lot of money invest because we have to have a grader on that road all the time, we have to have dust control all the time. This, we look at the budget, how much money do we spend, what should we invest? If we invest to pave certain road that cost already 10,000 per year to maintain, if we invest 150,000 in that last 25 years, maybe it's something we want to do. But we're definitely looking at the road and the taxpayer on the road. If there's only one farmer and so on the road that it's a mile long, are we going to work hard on that road? I'm sorry, but we won't. But if there's 10 and 20 houses that the taxpayers are paying $3,000 and they're on the road all the time with visitors and so on, we have to look at that road to make it better so the customers are pleased.
I've been a big advocate of dust controlling. When I was a councillor in Ward 3, I preferred to dust road, the entire road, never mind 100 feet on each side of a driveway. If you've looked at a dust abated road, you will see that it stabilizes and it seals up. The problem with us having over 200 kilometers of road, paving them is a little bit out of reach. I believe maintaining them properly, and then we have our farmers, and I will protect our farmers to the end. They are quite capable of handling their equipment on those roads, and we make sure the roads can handle their equipment. And we try to keep that positive. So they, in some cases where there's been big expansions, they've had to put in money as retainers and encouraged to use drag lines. And we've always tried to keep the residents separated from the farmland in order to protect both sides. And as far as the road maintenance, if you've driven southeast of Manitoba, I'm pretty sure these are some of the better roads in the entire southeast. So I'm not making apologies for our roads. And Bob, I know you eat dust because there's an awful lot of traffic down your end, but that's a matter of maybe getting the public works to look at you a little more favorably than what they've done.
Question from the floor?
Oh.
Hi, this is Mark. Since we're on the subject of roads, and you're saying that the southeast got the best roads in the RM, I beg to differ on that part.
Where would you say they're better?
I don't know where they're better. I don't know, but I sure it's not in our area.
Well, they've done as good as can possibly be done. I'm not sure which road you refer to as being
Well, let's
really bad.
let's take my road, for instance. My road,
45.
45 east,
Yeah.
north of the highway. Take it north, south, I don't care. But this summer, the grader was not on our road for 2 months. You explain that to me, how come that happens? You guys have about 200 miles of roads to maintain, and probably 20 to 30 miles of roads that are dust controlled and paved. So now you're left with what? 170 miles? And a grader could probably do about minimum 10 miles a day. Then you got 2 graders. How many miles is that in a week?
Well, it should be enough.
Well, apparently it's not. And
Well, I don't know where,
Could you let me finish, please?
well, I can let you finish. I'm
Okay.
also knowing where it's going.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like you've got 2 graders going, and then we gotta wait 2 months to get our road bladed. There's something missing here. You guys have all kinds of people there that are hired. You've got probably 3 or 4 people on the maintenance part of the crew, and for some reason, our roads are not maintained. There's a problem there
Have you got a
somewhere.
question for the candidates?
Pardon me?
Have you got a question for the
I
candidates?
wanna know what kind of improvements can be made for the next term.
Okay.
I guess the matter would be to identify the roads that have been neglected, because we're not always aware of where they've been. Well, they have a GPS system, so they certainly know where they've been. But if they're not made aware of a sore area, they probably don't even bother to send them out there. So unless a call is made to your local councillor, who can then push it up to the Public Works to notify them that there is an issue on a certain road, we don't necessarily know about it.
Richard?
Well, today's technology is great. There is tools that the supervisor just put in his pickup on a seat. You travel all those roads, and it tells you the condition of the road. Then you have to come up with a management plan, because certain road has more traffic, certain road has to be maintained a little more. And that tool is a GPS, and it's to see how rough is the road. That tool is sitting on your seat beside you as you travel, and all these electronic tools exist. They're an investment, yes, but to get the job well done, it's important to have that. Do we have that in the Army said that? I'm not sure, but if we don't, we will.
Supplemental question?
Yes. Kinda lost my question now, but. I can't remember my question.
We'll wait for you.
I'll come back.
He'll come back.
Stand right there and think of it. Is there any other questions from the floor? Okay, we'll go to the prepared questions. The next question that I have.
It's got a question.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, gentlemen. So you talk about economic development as a priority, and you say build it and they will come. So we know that tourism is a viable economic engine, and we are currently building the Dawson Trail Arts and Heritage Tour. So I'd like to know your vision for the future and how you might sustain those efforts.
Paul, we'll start with you.
When I first talked to you about that, it was probably 4 years ago during campaigning. It was an idea you had, and I was quite impressed with the speed it went and the amount of work you've gotten done, and how this has become a serious tourist attraction, and it's on the map. And I have to commend you for that. And we have one of our members that sits on your committee as far as info transfer, and it is something that's happening. And I think looking forward, we're certainly working with you in identifying some of the spots that you want to put, what they call these tourist attraction spots and what have you. So as far as encouraging it, definitely there. We leave it to you to come up with the ideas and the imagination of what might work for you.
Richard, would you like to address the issue?
Yes, I will. Yeah, you did a great job. Nevertheless, I was last year in the fall and in the spring, you did presentation and so on. The work that you guys done in regard to the Dawson Road is unreal. Is there a future for that? For sure.